Welcome to this week's Endurance for Everyone podcast. Endurance Now Coaching, the relentless pursuit of excellence. Are you looking to increase your fitness level, get stronger, or reach a new goal? There are many people who share that same desire, but often life or injuries get in the way, and their progress slows or even stops. Professional coaching brings a unique element to staying focused, developing the right fitness and nutrition plan, and having a certified coach to help you stay on target and reach your goals. Zendurance Now helps you reach your goals through customized training plans, one-on-one consultation, and constant motivation. Whether you're a local or remote, we've got this. Visit www.zendurancenow.com and learn how we can help you.
Program is for entertainment purposes only. Though the hosts of this show are certified Ironman coaches, their attempts at long-course triathlons and endurance events should not be taken as an endorsement for you to do something stupid too. You should make your own bad decisions, then podcast about it. Now, let's start the show.
It's episode 93 of Endurance for Everyone. How's everyone doing? This is John in Tampa, and over there in Pennsylvania is
Rob Bozovich.
Rob Bozovich. How are you doing today?
Fantastic, sir. How about you?
I'm peachy.
Peachy? Yes. Were you visiting like a farm or something, or what? Yeah.
Well, you know what I figured out is that I figured out this really great thing. See, I'm going to start off every episode now about my job.
Okay,
but
that is why people tune in.
I found out this really cool thing about my job today.
They pay you to go.
Apparently, yes, they do. But apparently, that if you work really hard and you're really good at your job, you get to do everybody else's job too.
Well, John, you can't get any better than perfect. Why would they not want everything done perfect?
That's exactly right. Oh my God. I can't even get into all of it, but it's just like, good Lord. And it wouldn't be so bad. And we'll get into this later because we're going to talk about passion and the end game and things like that. But
I've been waiting on pins and needles to hear about your passions, Sean.
Are you? Yeah, it's very scary in my mind, I'm telling you. But yeah. So how's your week been going?
My week?
Yeah,
well,
how's your week going?
It's all of 8 hours in now, so my week is going fantastic.
Well, how was last week going? Let's put it that way.
You know what, John? It is what it is. Like you said, some work things come up and that bothers you, and you just do what you can do. So I was a slacker on some of my workouts, as in I didn't do my bike on Sundays. You saw. So you then switched it to today, but now I'm here with you, and I moved it to tomorrow. And I'm going to see what's going to happen because I don't know if I'm going to be able to get something in this evening after we record. I'm going to spend a little bit of quality time with the wife because yesterday I had said I was going to go just look at a project for a friend and then spent 6 hours helping wire in this house.
That's always a good thing to do.
Yeah, once again, every house here in the area that I'm working on is 100-plus-year-old. So you got, dust and dirt and insulation and just all kind of stuff that's just great in the lungs.
I got to see a little bit of that when I was running up there, in Bethlehem, about how old, we forget about that here in Florida, I guess, is that, all the houses here are new. And something, unless you get into like the real old towns and the old Florida houses, there's a lot of new housing here. And you forget that like up north like that, it's like mostly older houses, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So when we run in through Bethlehem, it's like you start seeing things I haven't seen since I was a kid. Window AC units.
That's here's how classy we are, John. That's all I have in my house up here.
Yeah.
So it's but it's cold. You only need it 1 month a year. So
yeah, I guess that's a northern thing, right? And we just take it for granted that you have central air.
Yeah.
But I guess up there, well, it gets hot up there, though. I mean, I don't, but I guess.
Yes and no. There's literally 1 to 2 weeks a year when I say it's just that stifling hot day and night that you can't cool the house down. Yeah. I mean, keep in mind is even if it's 90 during the day, you can drop down to 55, 60 at night. So you can just crack a window and you could, you get the house cooled down real quick, just in the early evening or overnight. And so the AC, some people obviously like it better than others, but there's usually about 1 week a year that it'll be like 90s at night. So where you can't get it cooled down, you need that supplemental.
Well, when I left this morning, God, it felt so good. It was like 46 degrees, which is really cold for us.
Yes.
This time of year. Normally we don't see that until December, January, even February.
Yeah.
So it's going to be 81 again Saturday. So
you figured out what that red zone on your car's air conditioner is for?
What is that?
It's sunshine.
It's for no. See, I didn't even turn it on. It felt so good to me this morning. It was like it felt really good.
Yeah.
I mean, I like it. I don't know if I could take it any colder. I mean,
time will tell, John.
That white stuff starts falling out. Well, yeah, but it's been cool the last couple of days, but it's been nice. I like it. I wish we could sleep with the windows open like that.
Yeah.
It'd be nice. Now, I did that growing up because we had no air conditioning here in Florida.
Right.
Now, imagine growing up in Florida with no air conditioning.
No, thank you.
So we always slept with the windows open with fans going and things like that. I don't know how I did it. I guess you did because you don't have no choice, but yeah. So anyway, I moved your bike to today, but I figured you know how I am about that. Just move it around to
arrange it as I can, and we'll go from there.
Yeah. I mean, life happens, and you do it. I had to rearrange mine a couple of times because I have an issue Wednesday and Thursday that I'm not sure I'm going to be able to get my workouts in. So I had to work, move some things around. And
so now let me ask you, Coach / John, and maybe fodder for the group. You had given me almost bike, was it bike, run, bike, swim, bike? Like you had 3 bikes this week, and it was like every other one was a bike, or at least 3 this week. So if I was rearranging to keep things so I could sort of not back to back there, if I can't work out tonight due to time constraints, would you rather me just keep that run for tomorrow, or would you rather, since it was when I say only, what is it? You have me about a 40-minute run, or would you rather me do the bike? It's longer. I need to know what to time to a lot, but also what in fitness, which is more important based on the plan as you had set it up.
Well, I gave you that run tomorrow because you wanted that 3-mile speed workout, so that's tomorrow.
I wanted the same 3-mile workout that I had the other day, but I might just swap it out. We'll see.
Stick with the run and just blow the bike off.
Okay.
Because you missed it.
You heard it here, folks. Permission to slack.
Permission to slack. No, I know life happens, things like that. So, you're good enough that you know what you can do and what you should be doing and stuff like that. So,
right.
I'm not worried about it. But we are going to talk. We have a couple of concepts, right?
We do.
One is kind of little. One is a little bit kind of a portion of one. But the first one, because it's talking about this one is not going to take that long. And that's someone asked about strides.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, to talk about strides, they involve like accelerating over about 100 meters or 100 yards, however you measure. When you reach your fastest pace, about 75% into the run. So it's meant to increase your speed, but it's also meant to unlock after a long run or a race or something like that. It's kind of like to kind of loosen your body up a little bit. A lot of people do them at the end of a long workout. They'll do they do like a 5-mile run, but they'll do the last mile strides. And that's just kind of building up to top speed, about 75%, like say 75 meters into a 100-meter run, and then build back down, and then either walk or lightly jog for 30 seconds and do it again.
2 questions for you, Coach.
Yeah.
How does that differ from fartleks and speed play? And second is, what's the purpose? I've heard of various purposes. I want to know what you say they are.
I think it's the purpose is kind of dual to me. Is that you can either be to warm up for a race, it could be to because if you're warming up for a race, it's a good thing to do. It's like if you can do a mile warm up. Now, if a mile in, I'm racing already, but it's a good warm up. It's a way to just get your body going. You work up slowly and then you build up speed and build back down. So you're kind of doing this hill thing. It can also, like if you've had a hard race or long race, it's a good way to get back out there and kind of unkink yourself.
Okay.
Kind of do that. It's not really a lot different than fartleks, to be honest. But
okay.
To me, strides, now, people listening can correct me, but when I think about strides, I'm thinking about it as a part of a workout, not as a whole workout. Okay. So I'm thinking if I give you 5 miles and then I say do the last mile is like 8 to 10 strides. Mm-hmm. So or in a different way, I would give you a fartlek workout. The whole workout would be it.
Right.
So that's the difference to me. I don't know if everybody else looks at it the same way, but
well, what I had heard and what you playing what you said makes sense there is I've only ever seen the strides in the workouts here and there, and like you're saying, it's usually a longer run. Now that is relative. So for me now, you wouldn't give me strides in a 3 or 4 mile workout, but you might give them to me in an 8 or a 9 mile workout. Yeah. And what I've heard, I guess the purpose behind them was it's kind of like you want to get tired, whereas like you said, the fartlek or the speed play is all about doing that the entire time and varying it. This is almost like keep it very consistent, but then as you're saying, it's the gradual build up, so it's not like jump in and sprint because you don't want to that far in, you don't want to pull something or tear something, but it's building up to that maximum speed, which would replicate like a kick at the end of a race. Exactly. So that was yeah
exactly. So but that kind of fits into the second concept, right? Okay. You want to kick yourself in. So someone had asked, a few people actually clicked on this, is like, when do you know when to stop? Mm-hmm. When do you know when to take a break? And that can be like, that's a whole subject. But if we're going to do it like as a quick and dirty, there's basically some warning signs that it's time to, especially with running, that it's time to probably take off a day. Okay. Per se. So, anytime you feel pain, you should be aware, right? There's a difference between, as we've talked about before, there's a difference between being injured and being hurt. Yep. If you're hurting, you can probably work through it. Right. If you're injured, very big deal. Like that Chicago Bear tight end, that's injured. If you saw that yesterday, it was nasty. Yeah.
I've been a horrible sports fan this year, and I've seen about a half of any professional game this season. So,
okay, well, anybody that was an NFL fan, I didn't see the game. I saw the highlight, and that was enough for me. Yeah, it was nasty.
Made you cringe?
Yeah, it was like the body kept going, but the leg stayed still. It was not good. So if the pain is basically, there's like a few warning signs. If the pain's asymmetrical, right? Mm-hmm. Pain on one side of the body, but not the other. Probably something you want to check out. Pain persists for more than 72 hours. If everybody's a little sore after a hard run. Yeah. But if your knee is a little wonky after a run, and then a day, 2 days, 3 days later, it's still hurting, probably need to get that checked out. Okay. Especially if you have a sharp pain in one specific spot. Yep. Get that checked out.
Agreed.
And this is kind of a no-brainer if it gets worse.
Really?
Now, see, this is how, when I blew out my meniscus back in 2003 or 4. Okay. I was running on a treadmill, and I felt it. I felt something a little sharp. It was like 5 o'clock in the morning, and I felt something, give it a little bit, but kept going because I'm an idiot, Yep. And it kind of hurt the rest of the day. It was like both knees were kind of sore, and get up the next morning, and I couldn't even bend my knee. I could not even straighten it out. I walked around for 3 days, barely thinking it's going to get better. Right. Yeah. And just could not bend my knee. Anybody that worked with me at the time, the woman that runs G-Fit worked with me at that time. She could probably remember this, that I was hobbling around the office. I was actually holding onto the walls to get down the hallway. turned out that I'd torn my meniscus and kind of ripped it out from the middle. It was outside the knee, and had to get it fixed. But that was a sign that when I first heard that, felt that pain, that sharp pain, I should have stopped.
Right.
But I didn't. Right.
Well, disclaimer, we are not doctors. What we are saying is things you clearly should not do. You learn from our mistakes.
Learn from us.
So I'd like to interject there, and only because I've done this now 4 or 5 times in the last year, maybe, whatever, running. Well, and I'll be running along the edge of the street because sidewalks here are just deplorable. So I'll end up running in the street, and occasionally I'll catch a sword grate, like the little slotted, so it's wide enough that your bike tire really can't go down in it, but it would give you a heck of a bump if you did. But it's enough that I'd be running along, my foot would kind of catch and roll a little bit to the outside. So when I say I've rolled my ankle, it's not the debilitating drop down, feels like I tore something, but it's definitely been enough that you stutter step for a few steps, and then over the next maybe 50 yards, my ankle will start to, I don't know how to describe it. It stings for a minute, not even a minute, maybe we'll say literally 15, 20 seconds. And then it gets that warm sensation, almost like whenever a bruise, or if you get slapped or whatever, you know that some blood is going to the area. But that's where, growing up, even right now, if I put my 2 feet out, they turn in. When I say almost like the palms of your hand would go together, the soles of my feet or in the bottom of my feet want to go together. To which, if you ever look at my shoes, they all wear on the outside. I'll wear out the pinky toe and the back of the heel first, just my natural foot stride. So my feet turn anyways, and as such, it's easier to roll into it. I've rolled my ankles seriously in football and wrestling in high school, to where I had to wear the little air cast on them and so forth. So it's nowhere near that bad, but that's why I'm bringing it back around here for everyone. When I've done it in wrestling or football, it is that sharp, as John, you said, a sharp pain, instant, and it hurts. A scale of 1 to 10, it's 9 to 10 instantly. What I've been doing on these runs has been about a 4 or a 5. It wasn't pleasant, and I was able to run for 50, 100 yards, and it works itself back out. It's almost just a little bit of a muscle pull. But that being said, out of 5 of them or 4 times I've done it, most of them the next day I feel nothing. I feel fine. One of them was a little more serious, and I had to take about 2-3 days off, and then it did go away. So you need to listen, and even if you think what I did is this happens all the time, there are subtle nuances. Your own body. Don't pain. Don't push through something you shouldn't be pushing through.
Right. So I'm wondering. I wanted to go through the 5 stages of.
Okay.
The 5 stages. So I'm wondering how that what stage that would fall into. So let's go through it and see if we can figure that out. All right.
Okay.
So stage 1 is an unfamiliar or disconcerting pain while running. Mm-hmm. Hurts when you're running, stops when you stop.
Yep.
Right. So the red flag is it forces you to alter your stride.
Yep.
Okay. That sounds like what it is, right?
Yep.
So that's stage 1. So it's something you can get through. Stage 2, unfamiliar or discerning pain at rest. May or may not hurt when you run, but it aches when you're done.
Mm-hmm. I think that's a good rule there. That's where you were saying about the 72 hours. We all can expect after a long run to have 24, 48 hours of pain. Right. Once you're past that, you really need to start assessing it. Right.
If it's still hurting after that, your DOMS, your delayed onset muscle soreness, is usually 24 to 48 hours. If it still hurts after that, you need to start looking at it.
Yep.
Get some help. If you, and I know people hate to do it, but find someone to look at it.
Right.
So the red flag in stage 2 is the pain's interfering with your rest. It wakes you up in the middle of the night, right?
Yes. Yep.
Stage 3, pain during normal activities, hurts when you walk or climb the stairs or when you're sitting at your desk after a run. The red flag there is the pain forces you to avoid the stairs, avoid walking barefoot, and alter. This is where I was with my foot.
Yep.
Right? Because I wouldn't go on the stairs. I couldn't walk without shoes on.
Yep.
Because the zero drop of just having nothing on my feet it hurt me. Mm-hmm. So that's where I was. Stage 4, pain makes you take medication. including shots or prescriptions or over-the-counter meds. So the red flag there is it hurts, but taking ibuprofen makes the pain go away.
Okay.
A lot of people have that. So
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, if you have to keep taking ibuprofen every day just to get through the day, you need to get looked at.
Yeah. Something bigger is going on. Go get it checked out.
Stage 5, pain that stops you from running or even walking. So that's the big one, right?
Yes.
Hurts when you're walking, sitting, lying down, standing, running. It hurts all the time.
Yeah.
You definitely need to go get looked at.
Yes.
Something is going on. So that's it in a nutshell. So obviously there's lots we can get into with fatigue and things like that, and it might be for another show, but
Yes.
yeah. So
Fatigue is a very subtle but very in-depth difference. I mean, am I tired? Am I fatigued? Am I just having an off day? You know, there's a lot of different things that, you know, go into that.
yeah, well, fatigue is I don't want to get out of bed. You know, just the thought of that's to me. That's also called depression.
Yeah, I'd say that's an extreme end of that, John. But technically that qualifies. Yes.
I think that's depression.
Quick, hide the belts.
Yeah, right. Oh God.
Take the closet rod down.
Yeah. Oh man, that just brought up a really bad joke, and I'm not going to say it, but
Okay.
a bad joke in my head.
I'll change the topic to a very non in the Rob way, to something that makes sense to me but nobody else. You had said zero drop, and recently I went out and bought I bought one, and I'm bidding on another pairs of shoes off of eBay. I've been for years now looking for zero drop dress shoes. I don't know if anyone else even cares about this topic, but I wear zero drop running shoes, 0 or 4 millimeter, drop. And when I go and I get in my work shoes, they feel like high heels. They're just there's a 10, 15 millimeter at least drop in these things, and there's a notable difference. So I usually walk around my office barefoot. I can shut my door, no one's around, right? That said, they're like the first one. There might be other brands. LEMS 9 to 5, kind of like you work 9 to 5, but they're like $120 new, and I'm like, I just don't know if they're gonna be comfortable. I don't know what so I don't know what turned me on, but somebody said check eBay. So I got a black set off of eBay, and I got them for like $40 shipped to me, and I'm currently bidding. I'm like high bidder at $35. So nobody go out there and up that bid on me, because I don't want to.
There right now.
I don't want to pay more. You don't know the size on them, John. So, but anyways, they are incredibly comfortable shoes. So if anyone is looking for that, I highly recommend them. Right. I have not bought new, but they're nicely, slightly used, nicely broken in.
Whenever I look for new gear, I always check eBay first. Because you never know what's out there, right?
Yeah, it's just that wouldn't even I had to cross my mind. I don't even know why somebody had suggested it. I'm like, that's a fantastic idea.
I've had really good luck with eBay over the years, and I was on that really early with eBay, and I've always had good luck with it. I very rarely have gotten something that didn't fit or wasn't what they said it was.
Right.
So, and I've sold a few things through eBay too. So, it's a good place. If anybody knows, it's a good place to sell old cell phones. Because they will buy your old cell phones on eBay, and they will guarantee the price. If it doesn't sell for a certain amount, they'll guarantee it up to a certain amount. And if it doesn't sell for that, they'll pay for it.
Damn, I've never tried or thought of that. But, hey, I don't know what anyone else has. I'm rocking the iPhone 6, not even the S here. I just bought a nice new $14 case for it that,
Nice. Well, I'll be having this. I have an iPhone also. I have a 7S split. I'll be having this one for a while, because there's no way I'm paying the money that they're over $1,000 for that new iPhone.
You don't want to skip eating for a month, John? Come on.
That's ridiculous, Apple. Come on. But so anyway, so what we're going to talk about tonight is a couple of things, more mental than anything else, right? So
John, everything is mental.
So I've talked about it in the past that when I first started this. My coach at the time was Christy Concepcion, and we called her KC. And this was back when I was training with Jennifer. And she asked me one time, because I was having a hard time with it, and, just having a hard time getting motivated. And she asked me, she goes, well, it has to be your passion, John. What are you passionate about? And that, You ever see like a movie where like one question like sends somebody into a panic attack?
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember what movie that was. That it was like they asked a question. And it's like, oh, it was Tim Allen, Joe somebody. The name of the movie was Joe somebody.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
I've only seen that once. Is that where he fights someone in the parking lot?
Yeah.
Okay.
Putty. And that's the only way I know that guy is Putty. I don't know the actor's name, but he's been in a lot of other things.
I might mess it up, and I could Google it. Patrick Warburton, I believe.
Something like that, right?
Because he's in Rules of Engagement.
Yeah, Rules of Engagement. He's the Tick. He was the Tick in the first TV show, and funny guy. But anyway, he says the question that Julie Bowen asks him is, what do you want, Joe? And it sends him into a panic attack because he's never thought of that, right?
Yeah.
I kind of had the same reaction on me when she asked me, what are you passionate about? I was like, I couldn't answer it. I don't. And then it made me feel bad because, God, I have nothing I'm passionate about. But so, a lot of this is we're just coming off the top of our heads for this one. So you're getting like a true organic
stream of consciousness. Here it comes.
Yeah. So you start thinking about this. And the thing about passion is that most people go about it the wrong way, right? Especially guys, because guys want to think about it, right? They want to, because we're habituated to like analyze it and rationalize it and figure it out. What's our passion? And
really, that's the route you're going. You're saying men are thinkers and think things through. That I got 100, redneck. Hey, y'all watch this video is a proof different, John.
Well, I think that women are I know their passions a lot better than men do. I do. And because I think that they're more of a feeling, they feel things more, The men are more, they want to, it's kind of like, when you're in a discussion with your spouse or your significant other, and they say, I'm not asking for a solution. I just want you to listen to me.
Yep.
Because we're trying to figure out a solution. And that's not what they need. It's kind
of, you're presenting me with a problem. I'm going to tell you how we can solve it.
Fix it, but that's not what they need, right? They just want you to listen to them, right? As guys, we don't get that all the time, most of the time. So, but then I think that's where we go wrong, is that you try to think about what your passion is. Then passion is not found in your head. It's found in your heart, right? So it's I'm getting mushy, right?
But blood is found in my heart, Sean.
But you know what I mean.
I do.
It can't be found in your head because it's in your heart, right? And you can't find your passion by thinking about it. You have to do it.
Got it.
So
you would say that your actions dictate your passions then.
Exactly right. So it's all right. You can't figure out what your passion is by thinking about it. That's, this is my epiphany today. John's epiphany of the day.
And we have a new segment.
John's epiphany of the day. And I think it comes down to people. I'll say it. I hate to say it's mostly guys, but it's because I'm a guy, so I think of it like this: is that we put limitations on what our passions are. Andrew was good at this. Was good at not putting limitations on what his passions were. Right.
Okay.
If he wanted to do woodworking, he was going to do woodworking. Yeah. He was going to dive into it, right? That became his passion. If he wanted to act on the stage and do that musical, he dove into it, 100%. Yep. But I think a lot of us we think, I'm too old to be an actor. I can't do that. We try to rationalize a way of it. My passion can't be that because I can't make money at that. I can't do that.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I get there's various degrees of that too, and I am very much in the Andrew camp because if you went through my garage right now, I have mountain bike, road bike, kayak, I have my archery bow, my muzzle loader, my rifle, pistol. I have woodworking tool, like you said, I have a scroll saw. I have my sander because I got in. Decided, like you said, I'm making. For Christmas one year, I decided to make rocking horses for my nieces, so right. Just, went out and bought, and just got the stuff and just started getting on it, yesterday I was doing wiring. A couple weeks ago I was doing trim work. I know I a couple weeks before that I was laying tile and building that stair. I just jump in on anything. Although I wouldn't say I'm passionate about it. If maybe you could say my passion is learning new things. I mean, there's the old saying,
Maybe
jack of all trades, master of none. Right. You know what I mean? I like to just do a variety of things.
Well, maybe that is your passion, but I think, yeah, maybe that's your passion, is learning new things. That's your passion, right? It's like I don't hate it, but it's like it bugs me when someone says, "What's your passion?" and the first thing out of their mouth is, "Well, my family is my passion." Well, yeah, everybody's family is their passion, right? Pretty much. Yeah.
It better be.
That's too easy of an answer.
Yeah. My passion is breathing.
Right, but how do you? But I guess what I'm saying is that how do you know? Okay, so laying tile, maybe you wanted to learn it, and that's your passion is to learn it. But how do you know it's not your passion unless you go do it?
Right.
Maybe it is. Maybe. I think what holds us back sometimes is we think, like I said, it's like, okay, I grew up playing in rock bands. Loved it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It was like if you go back into my baby books that my mom has, and when I was 6 years old, and it says I want to be when I grow up, and I was supposed to give an answer at 6. It said rock star.
Yeah.
From the time I was 6. Now, of course, then you grow up and you realize I can't be a rock star. I have to go in the Navy. I have to find a job, blah, 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 right?
Okay.
And the point is, and now I'm a 54-year-old man, but that's still part of me. Not to be weird, right?
No,
that love of it that I haven't done in 40 years, 30 years. But that's still part of me, right? But the fact, I think, is that what stops you from jumping into it is that this rationalization starts coming in, right?
Okay.
I can't be a triathlete. I'm 350 pounds.
Okay.
Right? Well, sure you
Wrong.
Can. Sure you can. Yeah, sure you can, right? We've seen, we've in these local races, we've seen many people, 300, 400, 350 pounds, 400 pounds, do triathlons.
Right.
Right. You can.
That was one thing, and using that as an example, that's one thing that when I was just getting into marathoning years ago, I had a bunch of these, and I'm not saying this is their wording, old women in my profession saying, I'm too old to do that. They're like 55. Okay. Right. So I very clearly, as soon as they said that, pulled up, and I can't remember who it was, but there's like those Runner's World articles of this like 65 or there's different women, 70-year-olds, just starting and then doing the 50 state club. You know what I mean? I'm like, listen, here's somebody who's a decade or two older than you are, and they're jumping with no problems. You know what I mean? So, you're only limited by your own beliefs.
Right. I think what it comes down to is that it's not that they're too old, it's that they just don't want to do it.
Right. They don't have the passion for it.
Right. It's not a passion of yours. It's not. I was talking at work today. It's like there comes a point because we were talking about, because we had a going away luncheon for somebody. And I said, well, I can't eat that. I'll be 300 pounds again before I know it. And my boss said, you were 300 pounds? I said, yeah, I was 313 pounds at one point.
Yeah.
There always comes that point where you say, okay, that's enough. Right.
Yeah.
And it becomes your passion to lose that weight.
Yes.
So to speak. So your passion, or my passion, might not be triathlons. It might be lose weight. That's part of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or whatever. But I think what it comes down to is that to find it as a passion is that you have to give 100%. Like learn to love everything you do, right? Right. If you can't change what you do, then you have to change how you do it.
Yeah.
Right. I can't change how my job is, but I can change my attitude towards it.
Yes.
Right. So it's the job is not going to change. The job has been like that. It's a county job. It's been like that for hundreds of years, right? County workers have been like that for hundreds of years. But I can change how I react to it, right? I might not like how somebody acts. So I may not be able to change how they act or how they are, but I can change how I react to that.
Right.
Right. So
yes, sir.
You know what I mean? See,
I know what you mean, Jelly Bean.
We're getting really deep here, but what was it? So I was trying to think. It's like how do you find your passion? See, I'm thinking again, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I came up with some things. It's like the thing is, if you don't like something, don't do it anymore, right?
Yeah.
You have to remove. You have two choices. If you don't like something, you have a couple of choices, right? You stop doing it, or you find someone to do it for you.
Yeah.
Or you start loving it, and you start putting everything you have into it.
Yeah.
Right.
I can't recall where I heard this from now, and forgive me. And the example of what you just said, and it was like an old man teaching his grandson, or talking. It's the grandson asking the grandfather type of deal. Like he was shaving, and he basically, he took his time, like he lathered up, and he put got a hot towel, got his skin all warm, and lathered up, and then take a swipe, clean it, and was real precise about the whole thing. And the kid said something like, "Oh, you must really like it." And he said, "Hey, it's not that I like it, but I have to do this every single day, so I might as well make the most of it. And I'm not going to try to rush through it and cut myself, or work. Just it's something you got to do. You might as well try to enjoy it."
Right. Well, it comes down to, once again, the 80-20 rule, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, if you learn to put everything you have in it, and you change your attitude about it, then it kind of it becomes a passion, or it becomes, well, passion is what I want to say. It's catchy, right? Mm-hmm. So if you're in a good mood all the time at work, and you're facing things with a good mood, then people around you are normally going to be in a good mood. Right?
Yes.
So I mean, if you're whining and complaining and miserable for 80% of the day, then you can't be passionate for 20%, right? It has to flip.
Right.
You have to be that more, and that's hard to do for some people, though. Right? I mean, if you don't like it, stop doing it. If it's really that much of a pain in your ass, stop doing it.
John just told everybody to stop paying taxes. Got it.
Well, there's some things that, well, hell, it works for, the POTUS, so we might as well do it too.
Oh, John, are we going there?
Oh, are we
going there,
God.
John?
Oh my God, I got political. Okay. So, we'll just skate right over that one.
Let me defend our dear president there, John. Not that I am. And this isn't me. This is out there. Trump gives the IRS an office in his building. Okay. And basically he went, this goes back to the, is it cheating? And it's the whole loophole thing. Mm-hmm. He does everything he can do to pay as little amount of taxes as possible based on the rules that they set forth of the game.
I agree.
And I'm once again not defending him. His passion, one of his, would be making money. How he does it is up to you to, if you like it or not. His other passion is keeping as much of that money. So just once again, not defending him.
It's okay.
Once again, not everyone has to be friends, but that's him. And once again, too, is if you're passionate, and once again, how deep does your passion run? Not getting political. If you don't like who's there, and this is something that we say every day whenever in our town, if you don't like what's happening, get involved,
do something,
volunteer, and do something about it. So, if you don't like it, don't sit around, pardon my language, don't sit around and bitch about it. Get involved. Same deal there. If you, and that's all the more I'm going to say. Once again, I'm not defending. I'm neither for nor against. I'm just wanted to play it and put a little spin on your passion.
All right. We'll call it my passion. All right.
I'm not saying that's your passion. I meant your comment on,
Well, I got to get my zingers in there somewhere.
Yes, sir.
I've been really good. I haven't done that in a long time.
You haven't. I tried to bring it around. People may, let's see if people complain more about you or me in that realm of it. So,
well, it doesn't matter. Everybody's got their opinions.
Yep. They're allowed to be wrong.
Yeah, that's right. It's America. It's a free country still at this moment, so you're allowed to be wrong.
For now.
That could go either way, right?
Yes, sir.
So another way to find out what your passion is and to kind of look deep is look at your book collection, look at the magazines you read. Mm-hmm.
I think, and I'm going to jump in for a moment here, and you say, if you were to ask me, like right now, Rob, what are you passionate about? And I would like to say, I'm passionate about trying to get fit and being active. and when I say is fairly encompassing, it sounds broad, but really, if you sat down and looked at like 90 or better % of what I do, I try to eat healthy. I try to, eat maybe a little less. I like to work out. I like to not only work out though, but, be active. But this is a contradictory statement. I don't like unnecessary movement. So when I'm in my house, if I'm going upstairs, I look for anything that I can carry upstairs, and then I look for anything I can carry back down. I'm not going to carry things up, 10 things one at a time. I'm not doing dumb things. Sorry, I'm not doing things that I don't think make sense. Because I want to maximize my time so I can get more done. When I'm at home alone, I'm always moving around. I don't like to sit stagnant, so I guess, and it's all part of a bigger, you just said it's about the books you read, and it's about the magazines, if I sit around and play on Craigslist or eBay looking for, Transformers, that's not my passion. I'm not going out to trade shows and trying to sell those things, but I am sometimes out there perusing to see, what bicycles people are selling, or, outdoor fitness, it's just something to see if there's anything different out there. Or I like to, walk in and out of work when I have the availability. When I don't have the baby or I have to be anywhere, I can spend the extra 10 minutes and walk in and out. It's only a mile. I everything I do, every 9 out of 10 websites, even if it's reading your blog, John, or going through old ones, or reading show recaps and listening to podcasts, everything I'm consuming is 90% or better is about health, fitness, and just general daily being active daily.
Yeah, and that's right, and that's your passion, right?
I would have to say that's it.
You'd like to talk about it, and that's another way to identify what you really are passionate about. Is you enjoy talking about it, and you enjoy sharing it with other people.
Yes, whether they want to hear it or not.
Whether they want to hear it or not, right? I was doing that today. I can, it's I don't know if it's the Virgo in me or the Italian in me or just the jackwagon in me. Mm-hmm. I can't stand when people start talking about things they obviously don't know anything about.
Okay.
And people are listening to them. I have to jump in.
Well, John, let's hear about your passion on correcting people.
Yeah, it's my passion. It's not correcting them. It's that, if you're talking about, especially when you start, because I've been down the road, I know what it's like to be really heavy. I'm still heavy. Mm-hmm. I know what it's like to be really heavy, 60 pounds more than I weigh now. So if someone is talking about how to lose weight or how to eat and things like that, and what they're saying is not right, I have to say something. I just can't let it go. I'm not mean about it. I mean, I've gotten better about that. I mean, 5 years ago, I might have been a little bit,
You can tend to get a little surly at times.
You get surly, yeah. But I just say my piece now and let it go.
Yeah,
it's like, that's not true. Stop saying that. You got to get off that. Things like that. You can eat full fat yogurt. It's not going to make you fat.
Right.
Things like things like that. If you want to, I told somebody the other day, you want to lose weight, stop drinking damn Coke every day.
Oh, John, that's like a religion. You don't take that away from somebody.
It's like you want to steal their baby. It's like I told her. It's like, you drink what, 3, 4, 5 Cokes a day? Stop doing it. You're going to lose weight.
Yeah. They don't want to lose weight
just
that
doing
much.
that. And she's I don't know. I need my Coke. Then you don't want to lose weight.
Yeah.
And then I'll just let it go. So that's it. So passion kind of folds into the other thing we want to talk about, and that is about Endgames.
Mm-hmm.
And Endgames is it can be a passion of mine, right? Because I love the theory of the Endgame as what I do for a living. As a statistical person, I do project planning, things like that. You always start a project with the end game in mind.
Okay.
So you can liken that to the sports that we do, right? What is your end game? Is your end game to stand on a podium, like might be yours or Brent's, as he said?
Yep.
That's their end game. That's your end game, right? My end game is to be lighter, is to be healthy and less weight. It doesn't really bother me. I don't really care about standing on a podium.
Yep.
Right. So the point is that when you have that end game, everything should be focused on the end game. It's kind of like they tell you to put the sign, put a thing on your refrigerator, or when you pick up something to eat, the first thing you should be thinking is this going to help me reach my goal? Is this good for me or bad for me?
Right.
Is this going to help me or not? And if it doesn't help you, then you get rid of it. Right?
Right.
But I do have a story.
I'm listening.
I have a story. So, yeah, I was kind of looking into it because I'm trying to, find some theories. So I'm going to read it. It's from a book. It's from a book by Taro Gold. It's called Open Your Mind, Open Your Life. And this is the story. You ready? There once lived a powerful king who undertook an expedition to conquer foreign lands. His wise counselor asked him, "Great king, to what purpose do you set out on this endeavor?" "To become the master of Asia," the king replied. "And then what?" asked the counselor. "I shall invade Arabia, said the king. "And after that?" "I shall conquer Europe and Africa, and finally, then the whole world is under me. I shall rest and live at ease." To this, the wise counselor retorted, "But what keeps you from resting and living at ease here and now if that's all you want? You could settle down this very day without all the trouble and the risk." Right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a good story to me. I like that a lot. Because what it's saying is your end game is this. You don't have to do all these things to get to that. You can do that now.
Right.
Right? So
it's like the joke, or I've said it before, we and not an original thought. Obviously, I'm combining several people's quotes here, and that's, we work a job we don't like to make money. We don't say need to buy things we don't need to impress people we don't like, but 90% of people, I find it funny. I find nothing funnier, I should say, than whenever somebody goes out and buys a, what I mean, like in my area, I don't know why they love campers, what I mean? They'll go out and buy a motorhome or like a, $60,000-$80,000 camper, to go use 2 weeks a year. I'm like, okay, so you're spending how much money to buy something to go sit in the woods, or even the people that go camping. I like camping for the avenue that I like to be out under the stars and make the fire, and I like hiking. I like being outdoor and being active, but people spend a lot of money up here to basically go live like they're homeless. Like, if that's your goal, if that's or if that's what you want to do in retirement is just travel, just maybe take 4-day weeks. Go do it now while you can. You don't need to, go buy $100,000 motorhome in order to do it. Get in your car and just go drive. Like, John, you just traveled the whole Eastern Seaboard,
Right. Right. It's like, what is that was on Facebook a little while ago? There was a saying that said, you should live your, what was it? It was about vacations. It's like, instead of striving for a vacation, why don't you strive for a life where you don't need to take a vacation?
Yeah, I've heard once again that Entrepreneur on Fire, a lot of those people say the same thing. Yeah, hey, I work. People say I work a lot, but I love what I do, and I'm creating a life that I don't need to get away from. You know what I mean? I work out every day. I see my family. I go on these vacations. Why would I ever not do this?
Right. So that's good. I mean, everybody wants to have a job. I'm using Air Bunnies, a job that it doesn't feel like a job to them.
Yeah.
The biggest joke is always, it's work. If there wasn't work, they'd call it play. Right. But
true.
Right. So, the point is that to find something you really like to do, and the majority of us aren't doing what we really love to do, when it comes down to it, because we have to make money. Right. But then you go back into your saying, right? Well, you're working your tail off at a job you hate to make money, to buy stuff you don't need, to impress people you don't like.
Yeah.
And you die young. You retire at 70 and you die at 75.
Yeah, if you're that lucky.
If you're lucky. So, I think the uncomfortable truth is that most people don't know what their end game is.
Right.
You get caught up in the striving, like in the story. You get caught up in that striving for that end game that you forget to focus on what the end game is.
Mm-hmm.
If your end game is to retire at 60, basically everything that you do that affects you being able to retire at 60 should be out of your life.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So if you want to stand on a podium, if that's your goal is to finish top 10 at Kona, if that's it, right?
Yeah.
Everything that to be able to meet that, everything that affects that needs to be gone.
Yes.
Right? So, and that's not always a thing people can do, right? So
No.
So I was thinking like, let me think here. I wrote some notes down. I make notes.
I don't. I'll think of things off the cuff, and then I want to interject them. So two things. While you look at your notes, John, we're going to take a little trip down Rob Lane, okay? And it is Patrick Warburton is in the Rules of Engagement, and the opening scene of Rules of Engagement for everyone, if you've never seen it, is just a little black screen with white writing, and it says, "When you're single, you're exactly as happy as you are. When you're married, you can only be as happy as the least happy person in the relationship." So find somebody whose passions align with yours, and it's going to make your relationship much better.
Right, and all the and all this. I've talked about this with mine, and it's like all the superfluous crap needs to just not matter, right?
It doesn't matter. You need to realize that it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter, right? And don't let it affect people, and don't let it affect you, and don't let it affect the people you care about, right? So
exactly.
So basically, my end game, I could say my end game is to lose weight, right?
Okay.
And be healthy. But honestly,
let me ask you though. You're John. I'm gonna challenge you. Why, John? Why?
Right.
You're saying your end game is to lose weight. Okay. Then what? Your end game always has to be one step farther. Why do you want to lose the weight, John?
And this is what I was going to say. Is that it's not, when you think about it, and I've been thinking about it the last couple of days, is that my end game is not to lose weight.
Okay.
My end game is to be serene, calm, and peaceful, right? That's what I want. And I think, to get to that point, I know how it sounds, but, and it's very Pollyanna-ish, right? But in the end, that's really what I want in the end.
Good.
You see, you understand what I'm saying?
I do, implicitly.
I heard crickets.
Well, I apologize, John. It's just one of those, I was taking a moment, like I'm sitting here talking to you. Listen, I don't know if you can hear them, hearing the church bells chime in the background. You say, I just want to be serene. I want to be this. I'm sitting here thinking like, hey, it's Monday. We're having a decent conversation. You know what I mean? John, you could be there much quicker if that's where you want to be. If
I think it's an acceptance of that's what I want.
Yeah.
Right. It's, it's, you get caught up in the way of the world, I guess, that it's about acquiring things and having money. Mm-hmm. If you have all the money in the world, that's going to bring you this serenity and this calmness. It's not, it's, you could be, there's a movie that says that, some of the happiest people in the world, are the poorest people in the world.
Yeah.
And they're perfectly fine. Money.
I don't think that's a movie. I think that's when I say that's just life in general. I'm scrolling through my phone 'cause I want to find the photo of it now. Mm-hmm. I have like I should say a background, which is exactly what you said. And there's on the right side, left side, and there's like a couple, like, it's just a little cartoon. And the couple on the right side is, like 3-piece suit and evening dress, you know what I mean? And above them is a little, like thought bubble, like what they're thinking of, and it's kids, because obviously I guess they can't have kids. Then on the other side is somebody sitting there with 3 like little kids around them or whatever, and the little thought bubble above them is money. Person with kids wants money, person with the money wants kids. And it's just, I'm not saying that those two are mutually exclusive, but it's, everybody, like you said, you got to get out of wanting what everybody else has, or, and just be appreciative for what you have.
Well, right. You can have serenity, calmness, peacefulness.
Serenity now?
Serenity now. You can have that right now. It's your choice to not have it. You don't have to spend years of striving to achieving things to get to an end game, that the end game you can have right now without it.
Yeah.
Right. I think it's a matter of, and not for everybody, but it's a matter of finding someone that you connect with and that you want to spend the rest of your life with. That's an end game, that someone you just want to be with.
Yeah.
And someone you want to, I'm getting probably a little too deep here, but
Never, John.
Never done. You know, see, the blog John is coming out now, right? So, you know, just because the Endgame is available right now doesn't mean it's easy to choose and have it, right?
Okay.
Because we tend to be firmly entrenched in the world of striving, and there's distractions, apparent emergencies that keep us in this moment, right? It's one thing to say, I don't need money, and then go out to my car and, you know, the transmission falls out.
True.
Well, yeah, you need money, right? But there's ways around that too. I work a mile from here. I don't need it to go to work. Right.
Is this a recent example, John, or are we making this up off the cuff?
It's happened. It's happened to me, right? And, you know, that's happened to me. Where I'm driving down the highway, and you know, when I was coming back from seeing my mom a few years ago, the transmission just went out on my car.
Yeah.
Halfway between Orlando and Tampa, on the highway. You know, and at a time where I wasn't making, you know, I was making probably half of what I'm making now.
Yeah.
Which isn't a lot. You know, so that's a panic mode. That's full panic mode because you don't have another option. Right. You know, so I went from having no car payment to having to buy a car because it was ridiculous to put $3-4 grand into a transmission when the car wasn't worth $3 or $4 grand, you know?
Right.
So you have other things. Now I was lucky enough that I could go get another car.
Right.
Right. So, you know, so life kind of keeps you in this spot, but so there's going to be bumps in it, you know, but
there's always bumps in the road. Nothing is ever 100% foolproof.
Right. Right. Nothing's perfect. Right. But then go back to what we were saying before. It's not that it's perfect. You know, you can't control life, you know, things that happen. You can't control that, but you control how you react to it.
Right.
And how you react to it goes a long way to keeping you, or keeping me, for example, in that calm and serene place. You know, I know you all think I'm the calmest person in the world. I'm not, you know, but
you hide it well, or you act, or however I say it.
Yeah. If you knew me personally, you wouldn't think that. I have my moments, but, so this tended to be like a very deep episode, right?
A little bit. You know, we're not exactly splashing in the shallow end with some of this stuff.
And obviously you could talk about this kind of stuff forever, but I guess
there is no, I guess you'd say what you just said, we could talk about it forever. There is no end to this, and it's always a moving target too. You know what I mean? It's just, sometimes it's redefining what like I said, I like fitness, but do I really, you know, does my passion dictate my end game? Like you said, what is it? You know, and you can always ask that question just a step farther. Like you had just said, you want to lose weight. Why do you want to lose weight? Because, you know, blah, blah, blah. We don't need to rehash what we just did, but you always just need to sit down and really evaluate. And also some of that will help using your serenity as an example. If something bothers you, and when I say you're not sure why, maybe you need to dig a little deeper and figure that out. I'm going to use a slight random example, and that's one of those deals where I'm going to use myself, and there's nothing against anyone out there, but it's my own issue. I had weight to lose. One of my team members a few years ago had some weight to lose, and you know, I was starting to work hard starting to diet and exercise. Meanwhile, she comes in and literally she was on the list for gastric bypass, and the part of doing that was you had to, you know, they make you do a diet and stick to it and whatever. And she walked in on a Monday and she's like, yeah, I lost like 6 pounds this weekend, and that's just too much weight. So I have to eat these cookies so I can, you know, stay on track for the surgery. I'm like, okay, so what you're doing is working, and you're too, you know, I got really aggravated. I didn't say anything to her, you know, but I'm like, in my mind, I'm thinking like, what you're doing is working, but you're too lazy to see this through. So you want the easy way out. You know what I mean? And it deeply bothered me. But not only did it bother me, like a couple of days later, I was bothered that I was bothered, you know. So obviously there's a deeper emotion going on there that, you know, need to get in touch with. And that same deal is if you're upset with somebody. Let's go back to John's political rant earlier. No, we won't do that.
It wasn't even a rant.
But I'm just saying, if there's something that you find about any group, you know what I mean, whether it's social, economic, or, you know, anything, if you seem to have a problem with somebody, really dig in and see why do you actually think you say you have a problem with something or something, someone, or something that someone is doing, right? Dig a little deeper and see why that actually bothers you. You know what I mean? What is it what difference does that make for that person? How does that affect your life? And if it doesn't, dismiss it. If it does, then see what you can do to change it to make your life better.
Yeah. And I've had to do that recently, just with certain words, like set me off. And,
do I want to know, John?
Well, I mean, we don't
cheesecake.
No. I will say it like this. It's like, how do I say it? Being referred to with a weak word. You know what I'm saying? Like you're this, or don't be this. Okay. So you have to. I have to start thinking about, why does that word bother me so much, or why does this word bother me so much? I started thinking back. It's like, okay, why does that bother me so much when it's really just a word? Mm-hmm. And it wasn't even said with malice.
Yeah.
It as it's just an offhanded comment. And it's like, and it wasn't meant with any meanness or anything, but it's just a word that, like, I don't like. And,
I will throw myself on a sword here and use it as an example. And that being said, this goes back over a decade and a half ago, high school. You know what I mean? You're saying I said something with no hate nor malice. You know what I mean? And we were discussing, and I was wrestling, and I was talking about this kid that I was wrestling, and I said, well, I'm trying to describe him, and I'm like, he's the little bit gimpy one. Like he had a little bit like something wrong with his arm. I didn't know what it was. I didn't mean it in any negative connotation. One of my coaches, though, went off the hook. I was running laps for an hour after that, and he had a child with problems. So he was very, sensitive to that. But once again, I wasn't saying it like I was picking on him. I was trying to find something to describe it, So right. Whatever, I don't know what word is setting you, what it would or does set you off. But once again, there's probably something somewhere that you might need a little bit more of a psychoanalysis on it to figure it out.
I targeted it. I figured it out.
Blog post coming?
No, I could say it in a way. I won't say the word, but I'll say the first letter. You'll get what I mean. But high school girlfriend, broke up with me. We were just dating, but every time I called her for a date, she was going out with someone else. Mm-hmm. So I said, I don't get this. I might as well not even be here. I might as well be in the damn Navy.
Yeah.
Right. And her words to me was, you're too big of a P to join the Navy.
Got it. So you showed her.
I was in the Navy 2 days later. Yeah, I showed her, didn't I? 10 years of my life. Right. Yeah. So, and obviously tracked back to that. Right.
Yep.
Okay. Now I know.
There you go.
So you deal with it. So you realize you have to, this, I don't even know how we got on this. How do we get on this?
I don't know. It's your outline, John.
No, was that in the outline? I don't think it was in the outline.
It is now. I'm going to edit it.
Okay. So I guess we can end on that.
We can, if you'd like.
We can. Yeah, we'll end on that. So,
you can share the show with friends.
Yeah.
That's about all we got.
That's about all we got. So until next Monday, right?
That's fine for me.
That's fine for me. All right. So we'll see you all next Monday.
Take it easy.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Endurance for Everyone podcast. If you have comments or questions for the show, send an email to teamE4E at enduranceforeveryone.com. And remember, swim calm, bike strong, and run steady.
Zendurance Now Coaching, the relentless pursuit of excellence. Are you looking to increase your fitness level, get stronger, or reach a new goal? There are many people who share that same desire, but often life or injuries get in the way, and their progress slows or even stops. Professional coaching brings a unique element to staying focused, developing the right fitness and nutrition plan, and having a certified coach to help you stay on target and reach your goals. Zendurance Now helps you reach your goals through customized training plans, one-on-one consultation, and constant motivation. Whether you're a local or remote, we've got this. Visit www.zendurancenow.com and learn how we can help you.